White had to say, shall we?
All right, y'all. Great job. Great job. We did a lot of great.
First things first, before we get into this, I never want to see this much of Stephanie White's arms ever again.
Indiana Fever highlights. Stephanie White on the sideline, cheering crowd, social media posts flashing on screen. Voiceover. One locker room speech. That's all it took to ignite another firestorm across the WNBA. Just moments after the Indiana Fever celebrated an impressive victory, cameras captured head coach Stephanie White addressing her team. At first, it looked like an ordinary post-game speech. But within hours, fans were replaying every sentence, every pause.
Keep it a buck. Stephanie, put the blazer on, put a t-shirt on, put a long sleeve shirt. You don't see me walking around in guinea tees in front of the camera, do you? Let's hear what you got to say.
All right, y'all. Great job. Great job. We did a lot of great things. I'm sure this has to be.
Game highlights, scoreboard, crowd reactions. The Fever earned an important win, and the team looked composed from start to finish. Ball movement was cleaner, turnovers were lower, and defensively the group stayed connected. After the game, Stephanie White praised those improvements, highlighting the team's discipline and execution. Normally, that would have been the end of the story. Instead, social media exploded. Thousands of fans began comparing her comments to the team's recent performances with Caitlin Clark in the...
Sorry, folks, that's my bad. The Indiana Fever played yesterday as well. The Indiana Fever went up against the Asia Wilson-less Las Vegas Aces. So you have the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark. You have the Las Vegas Aces without Asia Wilson. I see some people cheering and doing backflips because the Indiana Fever beat the Las Vegas Aces without Asia Wilson.
The controversy wasn't about what Stephanie White explicitly said. It was about what many viewers believed she implied. Her focus on fewer turnovers and controlled offense led some fans to argue that the comments indirectly referenced Clark's aggressive, fast-paced playing style. Others strongly disagreed. They argued that coaches praise statistics after every game, and reading hidden messages into every sentence only fuels unnecessary drama. The result? One speech. Two completely different interpretations.
Shots at her star player. Throwing shade at her star player. That's the news coming out of the game. That is the story coming out of the game. Stephanie White's slow, methodical, tiresome, knockdown, drag-out, boring brand of basketball. They beat the Los Angeles Sparks. No Kelsey Plum. No Cameron Brink. They beat the Las Vegas Aces. No Asia Wilson. A game that Becky Hammond did Stephanie White a solid and said, Kennedy Carter, keep your ass on the bench. You're not really going to play.
Whether people agree or disagree, one fact is difficult to ignore. Since entering the league, Caitlin Clark has transformed the conversation around the WNBA. Attendance has increased. Television ratings have reached historic levels. Road arenas have sold out. Every game, every quote, and every coaching decision now receives far more attention than ever before. That level of...
At the end of the game, I smell something fishy here. Uh-oh. Got Stephanie White. Come here, Becky. Give me a hug. Come here. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. This is it. This is what happened right here. This is what happened right here. Come here, Becky. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
So, did Stephanie White intentionally send a message? Or did fans simply hear what they expected to hear? At this point, there is no verified evidence that her speech was directed at Caitlin Clark. What is clear, however, is that every move involving the Indiana Fever is now analyzed under a microscope. As the season continues, one thing is certain. The spotlight isn't getting any smaller, and every post-game interview could become tomorrow's biggest headline.
Not to mention covering her face when she's talking. Yeah. Why is White dressed like Michael Jackson? Well, you know what? Like Michael Jackson, she needs to beat it. Just beat it. Yeah, she needs to get out of here. Fixed, rigged, and corrupt. Aces just handed us the win so they can move from first place to second. Just stop being ridiculous. We all do. Never good when they go for a mouth cover at the end of the game. And now during the game, they threw this graph.
If this controversy has proven anything, it's that the WNBA has entered a new era, one where every comment, every game, and every decision sparks debate across the basketball world. The biggest question now isn't what happened after this game. It's what happens next, because all eyes remain on Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark.
Stephanie White locker room pep talk that fans are going off about, saying she's throwing shade at Caitlin Clark, she's taking shots at Caitlin Clark, she would rather not have Caitlin Clark on the team. A lot of comments, reactions regarding last night's game. The Indiana Fever, when they run Stephanie White's system without Caitlin Clark, they're better without Caitlin Clark when they run Stephanie White's system. They're not a better team, but they run that Stephanie White system better when they have a point guard that can't do the things that Caitlin Clark could do. A lot of reaction.
But here's what makes this story so fascinating. In today's WNBA, every word from a coach is instantly dissected by millions of fans online. A simple post-game comment can become a national debate within hours, especially when it involves the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Whether Stephanie White intended to send a message or was simply praising her team's performance, the reaction showed just how much attention now surrounds every move this franchise makes. And as the season...
Michael Jordan didn't really miss games like they missed games, but you guys get my point. The Indiana Fever beat the Las Vegas Aces without Asia Wilson. Woohoo! Woohoo! But Stephanie White doing the Stephanie.
As the debate continued to spread across social media, basketball analysts and longtime WNBA fans found themselves asking a much bigger question. Has the conversation around the Indiana Fever become less about basketball and more about narratives? Every game now seems to create a new controversy. Every post-game interview is analyzed frame by frame. Every statistic becomes ammunition for one side of the debate or the other. Supporters of Stephanie White argue that a coach's responsibility is to praise execution, discipline, and teamwork. Perhaps the most important takeaway from this entire situation is how quickly perception can become part of the story. In today's sports world, a post-game speech no longer stays inside the locker room. Within minutes, clips are uploaded, reactions are shared, and thousands of fans begin interpreting every word through their own perspective. Some viewers believe Stephanie White was simply doing what every coach does after a hard-fought victory, recognizing effort, highlighting discipline, and pointing out the statistics that helped her team win. Others felt the speech carried an unintended message because it arrived during an ongoing conversation about how the Fever perform with and without Caitlin Clark on the floor. Those competing interpretations fueled days of debate, even though there has been no verified evidence that White intended to criticize Clark in her remarks. At the same time, the discussion revealed just how much pressure now surrounds the Indiana Fever organization. Every coaching decision is questioned. Every lineup change becomes a headline. Every player substitution is debated on television, podcasts, and social media. That level of scrutiny is something few WNBA teams have experienced before, and it reflects the enormous attention the league has received in recent seasons. For Stephanie White, that means every public comment carries greater significance than it might have only a few years ago. For Caitlin Clark, it means every absence, every return from injury, and every performance is instantly compared against the team's results. And for the Fever as a whole, it means that success alone is no longer enough to control the narrative. Winning games matters, but so does how those victories are explained and interpreted. Looking ahead, the biggest challenge for the organization may not be silencing critics or ending online debates. Instead, it may be maintaining focus on basketball while navigating an environment where every comment can become a national talking point. If the Fever continue to compete at a high level, the spotlight will only grow brighter, and every interaction between players, coaches, and the media will be examined more closely than ever before. Whether fans agree with Stephanie White's coaching philosophy or believe Caitlin Clark should be given even greater freedom to play her natural game, one fact remains clear. This conversation has become bigger than a single speech, bigger than a single game, and even bigger than one season. It has become part of a broader discussion about coaching, leadership, expectations, and the evolving identity of one of the WNBA's most closely watched franchises. As the season moves forward, the questions surrounding the Fever are unlikely to disappear, but ultimately, the team's performance on the court will matter far more than any viral clip or social media debate.